Cupcakes, cupcakes, cupcakes. People really like reviews of cupcakes, and I bet people would like to see me do a review of cupcakes for the Halloween special. So that's why today I'm going to review cupcakes. Okay, so I made some cupcakes, and then I ate them all. But I still want to do this review of cupcakes for you. So let's see here. Okay, well, it's pretty round. Frosting looks good at the top. Looks good. Looks tasty. Don't really know what's so scary about this, but looks good. Yeah, looks good. So cupcakes, 8 out of 10, grade B-. Alright, end of the review. Bye-bye! What? Were you expecting something else? Oh, Cupcakes the fanfic. You mean that Cupcakes? How about no? Just because of how overdone Cupcakes is, I can't bring myself to review it. But don't worry. This is still the Halloween special, and I do have a different option in mind. Hello, Phillies and Gal Colts, I am SomberChaos, and welcome to another episode of SomberChaosReviews. Today, I come bearing to you something a little different. Not a review of cupcakes as you may expect, but a review of the just as gruesome, if not more so, PONY.MOV series. When it comes to Nightmare Night, most bronies focus on reviews and or reactions of Cupcakes, a creepy fanfic where Pinkie Pie murders Rainbow Dash and turns her into a cupcake and or one of its many visual adaptations. You'd think, being an amateur brony reviewer myself, I would do the same. But I did consider it and ultimately decided to do a review of PONY.MOV instead just because I like to be different. Now, PONY.MOV is insanely popular and loved by many. Just to put this in perspective, we are talking view counts close to 10 million. But is it worthy of all this? Well, let's see what it has to offer and start this review. By the way, I should warn, this review does contain major spoilers of PONY.MOV, so if you are someone who has not heard or seen PONY.MOV and would like to check it out before you watch this review, please go and do that now. Just look it up on YouTube and you should find it in no time. But with all that said, on with the review. Before we get into the meat of this review, let me clarify that I am aware that PONY.MOV is a parody and therefore not supposed to be taken seriously. However, that should not exempt it from being reviewed. We will just be approaching this particular review from a different angle. Now, PONY.MOV is real accurate to the original show and makes fun of all those little obscure things you may have missed. Like, remember that classic Season 1 episode where Rarity runs a Mexican sweatshop? Or that Season 2 episode where Pinkie Pie becomes an alcoholic? Or even everyone's favorite where Fluttershy kills Rainbow Dash? Actually, I think I may have missed that episode. Okay, now all joking aside, the basic story of PONY.MOV is that Discord starts to wreck Ponyville, and Twilight tries to find the elements of harmony and gets no help or support from her friends. 'Cause why should they help her? I mean, they don't have to help her. She's an adult, she can find them on her own. As the animation and story progresses, Twilight tries to take matters into her own hooves and ends up doing more harm than good, even summoning who I consider to be a non-centaur T-Rex, which goes on to eerily foreshadow what happened in Twilight's Kingdom. And this animation also gave birth to the Crush Kill Destroy Swag meme. Eventually, things get to this point.
Applejack's in a coma, Rarity's being held captive by Mexicans, Fluttershy's in the nut house, and Rainbow Dash is dead.
Then a year passes and we miss a lot of cool stuff like this.
Things haven't been going so great, actually. Discord, Wolf Lore, an army of robots that look like you, tornadoes, fires, earthquakes, meteors. There was a flesh-eating virus for a while, a bunch of people got lymphoma after the bombs dropped. Then there was this whole civil war between the Earth Ponies and the Pegasi.
Actually, Spike forgot to mention Balefire radiation, Killing Joke, that pink cloud around Canterlot, Taint, Raider Disease, Flux. Wait a minute, those are all from a different story, aren't they? Well, whether they are or not, I would have liked to see all that happen. Oh, and Applejack isn't in this except for the very first part. I guess she was busy with some Tumblr thing I never checked out because I was too lazy. The only part of Pony.MOV that appears to take itself seriously is the last part, which actually causes some problems for the animation as a whole, mainly because of the tone shift. You open in the last part and almost every character-centric plot point is rectified. Rarity escapes the Mexicans, Fluttershy is rehabilitated, and Pinkie is still Pinkie, Twilight is still Twilight, and surprise! Rainbow Dash was never killed to begin with! She was alive the entire time! And then we retconned the whole animation by going back in time, and for some unexplained reason, Rainbow Dash is now a giant, and she fights Discord, and it's all really weird, because all of a sudden we're supposed to look at this as a serious battle between Rainbow Dash and Discord, and it's all a little jarring given that the rest of the animation doesn't take itself as seriously as this part does. It's not exactly a bad thing, but it's unexpected, and you have to give the writer credit for taking this unexpected turn. However, the shift in tone kind of makes it hard to be as plausible as it could be, because once you've set up this entire atmosphere for the rest of the animation, it's kind of hard to go the opposite direction for the last part alone. So it's kind of bittersweet, if you know what I mean. And upon extremely close examination of this animation, it seems the creator himself isn't even happy with this tone shift. That's all there is to say on the story, and as far as characters go, I decided to cover them along with the story as best I could, mainly because the characters deserve no mention since this is a parody. So I guess I could comment on their voices. They're pretty good. I like how Fluttershy is apparently Fat Albert.
Hey, this I gotta see!
I also like how Spike acts. He seems to be the only one who's even remotely normal, which is, in essence, the joke. They got Kira Buckland to do the voice of Twilight. Not a bad performance by her. After all, she did voice Twilight in Oh Son of a Bitch! Even more impressive is he got Egoraptor, who is a very famous gamer, see also Game Grumps, to do a couple of voices, as well as John Etheridge, who is another very skilled YouTube animator. So the voices are really good, especially who he got, considering this is just a parody. It's not really easy to criticize a parody such as Pony.MOV without overstepping the bounds of what can be taken seriously and what can't be taken seriously. However, there is one thing that should always be taken seriously, and that is the imagery. The imagery in Pony.MOV is top-notch. Everything is done from the ground up and animated wonderfully. The style is not really accurate to the show, but then again, it doesn't have to be. It's very detailed, and that's all that really matters. Also, this and Project Thundercloud actually do have something in common, and I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't notice it because it's actually done very well here. 2D characters on 3D rendered backgrounds. If you watch a tiny behind the scenes video on SWAG.MOV, which is the last video in the Pony.MOV series, you will hear Max Gillardi, the creator of this animation, explain that
the 3D version of Ponyville in SWAG.MOV was created in a free program called Blender, which is a program that anybody can download. Discord's head was also rendered in 3D, not only for the shot at the end where he flies off into the distance, but also just to use as a reference throughout the cartoon when I was drawing his head from different angles. The 3D footage and the 2D characters were superimposed over each other in After Effects, which is also where I add explosions and other special effects and things like that.
And when you watch SWAG.MOV, it's so seamless. As for the other parts of the MOV series, there's nothing too special about them. The high quality animation remains the same, and yeah, it's great. And as sad as I am to say this, I really don't have anything left on Pony.MOV. After looking at everything I had to work with, I really can't find much more to say about Pony.MOV. I mean, sure, I could talk about the dark humor, but what would that add? I could talk about the massive amounts of blood and the horror aspects, but I think that speaks for itself. Also, this is a Halloween special review, so it's kind of implied already. Or I could talk about Max's amazing soundboard. But no, I won't. So what is there to say about PONY.MOV in the way of final thoughts? Well, there is one word that describes PONY.MOV, and that word is strange. PONY.MOV is a very strange project. It's really more for reaction than for review, but I'm not a reaction type person. I can't really see myself going, oh, Fluttershy, oh no, what are you doing, Rainbow Dash? Oh, why are you doing that to Rainbow Dash? Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Oh my god! Ooh, the Pony Popo is here, bitch, you gonna get down? Well, that was certainly an interesting video, I might add. Plus, it's overdone, and I like to be different. But all things considered, I will still give PONY.MOV a score. So my final score for PONY.MOV is an 8.1 out of 10, giving it a B- grade. It's good, but certainly not for everyone. I see the dark humor as more of an acquired taste than something that would be considered universally funny. There is also that tone shift in SWAG.MOV that distracts a little bit, so there's that as well. But that's it for this review of PONY.MOV. I'm actually gonna go for a walk. You see, I found this strange box in the park the other day, and I kind of want to see what's in there. So, this is SomberChaos, flying out.